Hey everyone, this is Player One, and I'm coming to you with part 4 of my Xbox 360 collection. I didn't think it would take this long, but apparently I own a shit ton of Xbox 360 games. So I guess from here we'll go to the end, and let's just get started. Right here we have Tales of Vesperia, Time Shift, 2 Human, and Top Spin 2. So the Tales games, if you don't know about them, they're cool RPGs. I like them quite a bit. I'm not a huge fan of what's come afterwards. Like the last Tales of Vesperia was borderline okay, to the fact that sometimes with RPGs like that take that much time, I almost don't want to waste it on them if they're not that good. But this was actually a pretty good one. And it's weird that it was on a 360, because the 360, the kind of the JRPG world was in the PS3 more than 360, but it's nice that they had this on a 360. As far as Time Shift is concerned, it's a cool first-person shooter dealing with time. It's similar to Singularity, and it's kind of a hidden gem. It's worth playing though. I liked it. I thought it was very cool the way the time power works. So that's kind of a cool game to check out. 2 Human, I don't know much about it. I think it's I don't want to say, I really don't know. I picked it up and at some point I like to play it. Top Spin 2, that's a tennis game. I'm not too big into top spin games. I usually like virtual tennis more, but I picked it up for cheap. A lot of these games over time that I've picked up, it seems like it's a lot. It really kind of happened just out of coincidence. Sometimes cheap games that I find in thrift stores, or if I'm doing buy together on free, like you see here, 3 of these are like that, and I need another game, I just kind of look for something to get that might be okay to play at some point. Here we have Turning Point, Fall of Liberty, Turok, 2 Worlds, and 2 Worlds 2. So first with Turning Point. Turning Point's an okay 360 game. It's actually kind of crappy. It's basically you're in old school New York, and I think it's the Nazis. They invade New York, and you're fighting your way through it. It's an okay game. It's kind of a throwaway budget first-person shooter. Turok. This is not a remake, or I guess the rehash or reboot. I didn't like this one too much. It was okay. I haven't even beat it. I maybe got, I couldn't even tell you, 1/4 of the way. Just played for a couple hours. Maybe I'll go back at some point, but it hasn't caught my interest to go back yet. 2 Worlds and 2 Worlds 2 are 2 RPGs. They're not great. They're very dated today. They're not great RPGs. They're something you can experience if you want an RPG, but it's difficult to say they're worth picking up. If you have a backlog like me, it's hard to say I'm gonna get to those. I might just get to those because to some degree, like I was saying before, and I really mean this, and I think about this a lot when I'm dealing with my backlog, is that if I have to think about my time, what's worth it, what isn't, and then also just maybe I just want something different. Sometimes games that are not as good feel better because you've been stuck playing the same old kind of JRPG for so long. Any good thing to a high degree can get bad, if that makes sense. Here's Ultimate Alliance, Ultimate Alliance 2, Universe at War, and Vanquish. So let's talk about Ultimate Alliance first. This game is one of those 2-packs that you can get. This, and it comes with Forza Motorsport. I haven't played Forza, but I did play Ultimate Alliance, and I absolutely love this game. What a cool game, man. It's a little dated graphics and all that. Back when I played it, I thought it was awesome. You get to choose all these characters and go through it and fight with these different characters, and you unlock them and all that. It was before DLC got pretty huge, so I think you can unlock everything if I remember. Or there might be some DLC. But the point is, I really liked it. I haven't played part 2, but it is on my to-do list soon, just because I think it covers some of the Civil War storyline from the comic, not the movie. So that might be cool. But the best part of all this is always the same. Getting to play through all those different characters and mess around with that, so that's kind of cool. I don't know why they put this Spider-Man in the middle. He's not even like the main guy, but I guess just because kids like Spider-Man. Universe at War is kind of a RTS where they're invading Earth and you're fighting back. It had some really cool trailers back in the game. The trailers were awesome. The game itself is okay. Nothing too exceptional, but I like it. I'd say pick it up and play through it at some point. Vanquish is very cool on the other hand. It's kind of a hidden gem because I don't think it did too well when it came out. But it's a very, very cool game. The whole gimmick, as you can see, he's like sliding, is that you slide and shoot. And it's like the future, you're fighting robots and everything. I liked it. That's a game you should definitely check out. And again, you can get that game, I think, pretty cheap now. So it's worth your time. And money, I think. Alright. So here are the next games. We have Venetica, Virtual Tennis 3, Wanted, Weapons of Fate, and Warriors Orochi. I don't know if that's how you say it. It just sounds cool to say Orochi. Venetica is kind of a RPG. So I think it starts with they're attacking your town, and you kind of escape and you want revenge. I think the whole idea is you're like a badass chick trying to get revenge. It's okay. I played a little bit of it just to try it out. Like I said, I usually buy these games used, and so when I do, I want to make sure that they work. It looks interesting. That's something I might get to soon. Virtual Tennis 3, like I was saying, I tend to like the virtual tennis games the best out of all the simulator type virtual tennis games. The reason is probably because it's not like I watch tennis or even play tennis in real life, but in the video game, I kind of like this. It's like basically a modern ping pong, right? Or whatever that's called, that old game was called. So I got really into it in Dreamcast because I got to think Virtual Tennis, maybe the original, or maybe Virtual Tennis 2, I forgot which one's on the Dreamcast. And I used to play it like crazy with buddies of mine. We used to just get together and play it back and forth, and I always really liked it. So I haven't played this one, and I did not buy that new. I would probably never buy a sports game full price because it'll be cheap in like 6 months. So, but I did buy to get them free for pretty cheap. Wanted, Weapons of Fate. That's based on the movie. If you know what Wanted is, it was a very cool comic with a cool concept where this guy could shoot, and the way he moved, it would like turn bullets. That was the whole gimmick of it. They made a movie about it that really was kind of shitty. It was okay. Like usual, they shit all over the comic and they did their own stupid story. But I think this one's based on the movie. But I've been wanting to play it. No, I shouldn't say that. It's like half movie, half comic. They did kind of this weird hybrid. I've been wanting to play it just because the shooting is okay, and it's kind of an okay title. And again, I think when you get to my point, you play so many games. I have that I beat under my belt. That to some degree, it's nice to just try some different things. Even if they're not that great, they end up feeling great just because they're kind of nostalgic, old graphics, and they're fun to play through something different. Warriors Orochi is kind of I don't want to say a spin-off, but a form of Dynasty Warriors, kind of a different flavor. And that's just not much more to say than that. Oh, we're getting towards the end here. I thought that would never happen. Let's see, what do we got? Here we got... Oh, actually I put this for the other one. Oh, focus. There you go. Sorry about that. Here we have Warriors Orochi 2, Wet, The Witcher 2 Enhanced Edition, and Wolfenstein. So first with Warriors Orochi 2, this is just part 2, another Dynasty Warriors type game. And as you can imagine, like Dynasty Warrior games, there's a ton of these. I think they're up to... I don't even know what part they're up to. Wet, this has... I think the voice for this girl is Faith, if you ever saw the old Buffy show, that actress. And the whole thing is that she's like an action hero, third-person shooter, and she has these powers. It's a cool game, not powers, but like, she can slow down and she gets into this rage effect that she kills a bunch of people or some crap like that. It's an interesting game. It has a throwaway story, but the problem is it gets very repetitive very quickly. So that's kind of a downside to that. Witcher 2. If you can believe it, I really like the Witcher series, but I only like it because of what I know about it. I haven't played through Witcher. I want to force myself. I own it on PC, which is obviously the better version to get it. And I'm forcing myself to play through Witcher 1. I'm going to start soon. It's just that I'm overwhelmed because of how big of a story it is, and Witcher 1 kind of looks very dated. That's why I want to make sure to play it on a good-looking PC, which I have a pretty decent gaming rig. Just because I want to make sure that frame rate is high and that I can get through it, through it all, because it is a bit dated. But as far as Witcher 2, I haven't played it yet. And on the 360, I probably won't play it on the 360. I imagine I'll want to play it on PC. But I have this just because it's the enhanced edition with everything. It comes with a cool, nice book, I think a map and a bunch of information. So that's cool. Then you have Wolfenstein. So Wolfenstein is an old franchise also. I'm sure you guys have all heard of it. And if you play the new one, by the way, the one on PS4, man, it's so good. But this is an older one on Wolfenstein, and this game is kind of, I think, standalone Wolfenstein. It's actually pretty good. This is more of the Wolfenstein. If you're not familiar with the old one and you just know the PS4 one, this is more of the mystical type of Wolfenstein when it has magic, monsters, and that kind of stuff. Obviously, you're always fighting Nazis, but they're always developing some kind of technology or using magic. It's that kind of Wolfenstein. The new Wolfenstein for PS4 is more realistic in the sense that there isn't really magic and stuff like that. All right. So now these are the last 4 games, and it's a little bit out of order, but that's okay. We have X-Blades, XCOM Enemy Unknown, X-Men Origins Wolverine, and Zone of Enders HD Collection. So X-Blades is kind of a third-person action game. Again, it's not really great. It's okay. Another game they're trying to sell a gimmick of having some girl wearing a bikini fighting with no armor. So be it. But it's not really great. But it's, again, I got it cheap. I took it on free. If you can pick it up, maybe see if you like it. There are some cool elements to it, but nothing really stuck out beyond that. XCOM Enemy Unknown is a great game. They just released part 2 this year. I don't think it's come out on the PS4 yet, but if you have a PC, even if it's not the best gaming PC, experience it on that. This is not meant to be on the console, I think. And even this one, they did a pretty good job of playing it. If you haven't played it, playing it through on the 360. The controls are okay, but ultimately, it's a game for PC. It's a game for mouse and keyboard. You know, so that's something to think about. But if this is the only way you can get it, you don't have a gaming rig for a PC, go ahead and play it on the 360 because it's very cool. It's a great game. It's hard though, I will say that. And I've heard part 2 is even more of a ball buster, but I haven't picked it up yet. X-Men Origins Wolverine is based on the movie, so I think the X-Men movies are garbage, and I think they're garbage because people are always sweating themselves about Marvel this, Marvel that, and the Marvel movies have gotten pretty good. But if you really think about it, X-Men has the potential to be just as big, if not greater, than Marvel. Because instead of having to rely on 1 or 2 characters or combining worlds, in their one X-Men world, they have a complete collection of basically a freaking Justice League or whatever, or Marvel like Alliance or whatever. Think about it. They have all the mutants and they all have similar powers, and they're freaking crazy. And the world expands. The Phoenix Saga expands to Apocalypse and all this. So you really don't even need to mix with the typical Marvel characters like Thor or Spider-Man, because not Wolverine. X-Men is big enough to warrant its own universe. With that said, the movies have been garbage. This guy, I forgot his name now. The director, he has no vision. Another guy who hasn't read comics. I'm not saying you have to copy the comic, but he has no visions. He's fucked up the X-Men, and that's the truth. And that last Apocalypse, was garbage. X-Men 2, everything has been garbage. The only things that have kind of come out of there has been Wolverine as an okay, and I do mean okay only, not great. Side story, especially like in the movies, the Origins was okay. It didn't really make sense. It had that shitty Deadpool with the laser and all that crap, and the second Wolverine movie, I didn't really like it, so I guess I shouldn't say it's okay. But I like the character. I think Hugh Jackman by now has gotten pretty good at portraying Wolverine, but he's not the Wolverine for the comics, that's for sure. But as far as the game is concerned, because I guess you're probably here to talk about the games, the game is okay. It's based on the movie. I would say it's repetitive. It's a third person action game, like a beat 'em up, I guess is what you would call them. Like I always mention God of War and Devil May Cry because those are the main games I played that were like that, but nowhere at that level of sophistication, obviously. It's pretty good though. If you like the movie and you like Wolverine, I think it's kind of cool, and it goes beyond the movie as well. Let me put it that way. It goes beyond the movie, so it's not just you're just playing through a movie. What I liked about it the most is the frame rate's pretty good, and it's very, very smooth, the combat. So again, if you're trying to find something else to play that's a little bit different, that's something to check out. Zone of Enders are an older, I think, PS2 game, and this comes with more than just one game. I think it comes with both. Is that right? Well, it comes with I think it comes with both. But these are cool games. Now, obviously, they're dated. The cool thing is on the 360, you get the you get the faster frame rate. So it's kind of mech versus mech. That's the one thing that's missing too. There hasn't been a very good mech versus mech game. I think the best that I've played really has been Titanfall, and that's not really mech versus mech. Those are kind of slower. It's really a person in a suit. It's not like a mech like Gundam versus Gundam kind of mech. You know, I want to say this. That's basically... Is that it? Yeah. That's my entire collection. I want to say this, and here's my advice. Maybe I'll do a separate video on backlogs. Because going through this, you know, I think I've had some people comment that I have a lot of games that I haven't beat. And I think about that myself, even going through this. I'm like, shit, man, there's a ton of stuff to play. I've realized there's a lot of things you can do for backlogs to get through them. I say the best thing you can do is just keep a small list. I like to keep the games organized. I'm probably more organized with games than I am with my real life, but I do keep them organized. I have a spreadsheet, and if you're interested to see how I do that and would like some advice, let me know down below, and maybe I'll make a video of how I organize it. I do it with a spreadsheet. That way I know exactly what I have, and I don't buy copies and that kind of crap. If you're interested to do that, seeing that, let me know, and I'll make sure I make a video. But as far as this stuff is concerned, the reason I mentioned games like X-Blade and Wolverine, normally there would be games that I would say, listen, don't waste your money on those. Especially if for 60 bucks when they come out, hell no. Hell no, right? Few games are worth 60 bucks in my opinion, especially with today's market. And I mean, a game comes out today in November, by December it's like 30 bucks. No matter how big it is. I mean, you can get what? Final Fantasy came out not too long ago, and you can get it for like 30 bucks now. So, long story short, what I was going to say is some of these games, like both of these games, not XCOM, that's a game worth experiencing. But these two games, they're not great, but I find myself, it's easy like to just be playing the same thing, you know. Like I'm playing a lot of Titanfall right now, I'm playing a lot of Star Wars Battlefront, I'm playing a lot of, now I'm playing Gravity Rush again. I'm trying to get ready for that second Gravity Rush that's coming out I think in January, part 2. But it's easy to just be like, damn, I get bored and just be just not jaded, just get bored with playing the same types of games over and over again. So these type of games really help out. They kind of throw a wrench in the whole idea of just playing shooters that are all the same, because at the end of the day, a first-person shooter, no matter how imaginative, few of them really go beyond being a first-person shooter. But JRPG, no matter how great, most of them are pretty similar, even the very great ones. So it's easy to get just to the point where you're fed up with the same thing. So sometimes when you throw in a game that's not necessarily great, but it's good enough and it feels different, like a game like this or even this one, you feel refreshed. You get through it pretty quickly, and maybe you don't finish it. Shit, who cares? But it provides entertainment and it cleanses your palate to be able to move on to back to another big game. So for me right now, I'm playing Gravity Rush along with the other games, but Gravity Rush is a game that I'm kind of playing through, and Infamous, the original, to cleanse my palate a little bit. And then I might get back in and do something else. Like I've been thinking about playing the DMC, or maybe Borderlands or something like that. But I'm using those two games to cleanse my palate from shooters almost. Even though I do play Titanfall often, I'm trying to just do something else, because it gets to a point where you're like, I don't know what to play, and then you kind of forget what you're playing. So that's where that list comes in handy. But that's me just kind of rambling on. I don't want to keep you. That's the end of my 360 collection. I haven't included digital games. Again, if you're interested in that, let me know. I'll do a separate video for digital games. There's not many that I have that I don't have physical, because I always try to get physical if I can. But apart from that, I hope you've enjoyed this 360 collection series. Please leave me any comments below. If you'd like to see another system, let me know below. My collection isn't huge, but I think it's still substantial enough to kind of demonstrate some stuff. Please check back the channel soon. I'm gonna be doing a pickups video and another pickups video, and then just other stuff. One thing I want to put out there: a lot of you guys comment, and you don't know how much I appreciate that. Please let me know below any thoughts you have. If you have an idea for a video, I will try my best to accommodate it. And not just for you, for us, and for everyone. I know people like that. So that's me rambling probably more than I should. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is Player One signing out.